Hey, it's Ren again, and I've been gone for like almost a full month. In my defense, it was around my birthday, so that's why I actually filmed like a 3 week video and then I just completely neglected to post it. I actually have a lot of things that I need to update you guys on, so I'm just gonna take it week by week. So, a few things just as a bit of an overview. I did end up skipping like almost a week of tea because I completely forgot to fulfill my prescription. So that was kind of terrifying. And then also I ended up having like some rather vivid dreams as well as a more noticeable voice drop. So let's get started. Week 3 is between about November 15th to 21st, which is also the week of my birthday. Around that time, I kind of stopped noticing like any bottom stuff. Like before, I was kind of aware that something was happening, but now I basically don't feel it at all. I started getting hungry more, but it's not really anything serious, and I kind of can control my cravings more or less. Like I could eat just like before, but I'm choosing kind of not to because I'm trying to make sure that I don't like put on a ton of weight since starting tea and that all of my, I guess, like growth just goes into mostly muscle. Also, deadlines used to really make me super anxious. Now, not so much, and I'm just generally more even and calm about everything. My skin has more or less returned to normal. That's kind of a good thing. I also visited my family around that time and no one's noticed anything yet, but to be fair, at that point I'd only been like 3 weeks in on a lower dose. So I would be genuinely surprised if they really did notice anything. And I generally have more definition in my arms and shoulders. And I notice that when I plank or when I do anything that sort of like exerts more energy, I tend to feel my face get really warm. But in general, I'm not feeling that I'm getting cold any less. In fact, like, because my apartment's been fairly cold on and off, my hands still get like super cold. Yeah, so like still no libido spike. I can still get sad. Like a lot of people say that when they go on tea, they feel like they can't cry and like they can't feel emotions or get sad, but can confirm I definitely did because my partner and I watched Coco, which is like this new Disney movie, and I like wept like a baby during like the more emotional parts. So that's definitely still a thing. Now we're on to week 4, which is about November 22 to 30th. And I keep looking over there because that's where I put all my notes, just referring to them. Okay, so around week 4, I realized that I should probably renew my prescription because I only had enough for 30 days. And then I realized that, oops, the gender clinic that I go to only happens every 2 weeks. So, kind of screw the pooch on that one. I tried to call in to see if I can get like any refill sent in. I gave them the name of my pharmacy. So, like, we'll see how that goes. This was also when I filmed that video featuring my dog that I probably will post either before or after this one. I also started getting like a mysterious energy dip, and I stopped being as productive even though I stayed on the same dose and I've been like consistently working out and like eating the same things. And on my last day of testosterone that I had left, which was day 30, I got my blood test done. And I also noticed that my eyebrows have been getting thicker. I used to fill them in to make myself look more like masculine. However, society perceives that. Now I don't have to because they're kind of just like growing in on their own. So that's really nice. Also, sorry if I'm talking fast. I'm just trying to like cram as much stuff into this video as possible to make up for lost time. Week 5 is from December 1 to 6. So this was like the week that I was not on testosterone because I fucked up. So on the first day off of tea, my partner and I went to this queer pub that we have in this area. I also like took this like trans self-defense drop-in class, and that was kind of fun. I got to learn how to get out of a chokehold and also how to like, I don't know, escape if someone was holding my arm or something. So that was kind of neat, knowing how to protect myself. So we went partying, and my tolerance, like, basically just went down the drain and into the garbage for some reason. So I ended up getting, like, super wasted off of just a couple beers. Which, okay, I know I'm Asian, like, Chinese people aren't known to have, like, the best alcohol tolerance, but I pride myself in being able to hold my liquor. I did not that day. That was not a thing that I did, okay? Okay, so the biggest thing I noticed when I went off of tea is that when I work out, I can't like do as many reps anymore. I start getting a little more tired. And then on the 4th day off, I got this like really terrifying vivid dream where like parts of my teeth fell out. And I was like frantically trying to stick them back into my face. And it was like super vivid and I could like feel it happening. I did not enjoy that. I talked to a few people because I'm in a few like trans groups, and apparently vivid dreams is kind of like a thing. So not to alarm people, but I do try to lucid dream. So I do actively try to like write down and remember my dreams so that I can like be awake during them and sort of like control things that are happening. But this time, it felt like it was actually happening to me. And then I remember in this dream, and like I've had this dream before, being like aware enough to be like, hey, this has happened to me before. I just need to like fix it. So that was kind of a thing. And yeah, no one told me about that. I told my doctor about that, and she was like, yeah, that's a thing that happens sometimes. So on the 5th day off, I actually got a call. The pharmacy I go to actually got my prescription in, so that was kind of good. I was really only off for 4 days, and I'd like to keep it as even as of a dose as you're supposed to have. So when I spoke to my doctor, apparently they lost my blood test, or it hasn't come in yet. I'm still waiting for her to call me and talk to me about that. But from like the things that I've reported and just like looking at my weight and stuff, the lower dose really does work out for me. So we're just gonna keep on that. And I got extended from 1 month to 3 months. So hopefully I won't have to like worry about running out anytime soon. Okay, so now we're talking about like, I guess after being on T, like my first week being back on T, which is like this past week. And let me tell you, it's been hell. It's just been hell for some reason. It's like just... like, it's an emotional roller coaster, and I really want to get off of it, but, you know, you can't. So, let's start off with, I guess, day 1. So I noticed that I started acting a little more impulsively. I had this argument with my partner. By the way, I have a lot of arguments with my partner, so that's gonna be a common occurrence. So instead of, like, being really upset and sort of stewing in it and being like, oh no, poor me, I actually went for a walk, and I went to see a friend instead, and this was the first time that I've done that. So it was actually really cool, you know, like to just sort of be like, you know what, like screw this, I'm just gonna pull myself out of it and do something about it. We had a little chit chat, we kind of like caught up, and it was just really nice, and it was something I needed. I probably didn't update you on this before, but my partner and I share like a 1-bedroom apartment, and then recently a friend of ours, a mutual friend, kind of didn't really have a place to stay and is sort of staying with us. 3 people in a 1-bedroom apartment is like absolutely insane and ridiculous. And I've just been sort of feeling really like claustrophobic and not really able to have my own space, especially since before, like with the 1-bedroom, I was already sort of feeling like I needed space. And this just kind of like made it super worse. So it was really nice to just like get out of there. And the friend that I saw, we were actually pretty close at my old job. And I haven't spoken to her more or less since I left. So she was the first person that I kind of know on a regular basis that saw me after starting T, but then like haven't for a while. And she said, like, for sure that there's been a change in my voice. It was kind of nice because, like, I could kind of tell that it was happening, but no one else around me could. So it was very affirming to know that, like, indeed, like, taking tea is actually doing something. So that was good. The day after that, I argued with my partner again. And then the day after that, I started my period. So that was probably why I was being so moody for like basically no reason. And then on the first day I started my period, I was like exhausted because my body was just getting used to tea. And then I don't know if you guys know this, but when you start your period, it kind of like your estrogen levels are kind of a bit lower and your testosterone levels are a bit higher because it's like, okay, TMI, but like shedding the like uterus lining. So I think that's kind of what it was. After I took my dose, I actually felt a lot better that day. I noticed that my skin was like getting a little bit more thick. Like I wouldn't say coarse, but it's just like the layers are like increasing a little bit. And that's actually one of the effects that that they did say that I would have. Oh my god, I wrote so much. Okay. So that was the past weekend that just went by. And then on the same day I received like, okay, so this was last Friday. It's Tuesday now. But on Friday night, I kind of checked in with some people that I was supposed to cosplay with to this convention that's happening on Saturday. And I received some really bad news, and I got like super upset. So we were supposed to go cosplay together, and then I booked a hotel for my partner and I because it was also the same weekend of our anniversary. And we were supposed to sort of like go to this convention, and then afterwards go and stay at a hotel and then spend like the next day together. The people that I was supposed to cosplay with kind of didn't bother telling me that they weren't planning to go. And I was really bummed out about it because like it was something I was really looking forward to. And also one of my best friends invited me to his work party, and that was like the same day, and I had to bail on him for these people that were like that basically like didn't give a shit about me and like completely forgot. So that was a thing. Uh yeah. So obviously I was really mad, and I kind of felt like they didn't care. I made a lot of last minute changes, and like I ended up canceling the hotel. I ended up making different plans with my partner. So in the morning we kind of like went to this meeting for this convention we work for, and then we rode into Toronto, and she bought my partner bought some material for like a cosplay that she was gonna do for a convention we're going to in January, so that's kind of nice. We basically met up with one of my friends, and we kind of just like caught up and hung out. My friend works at Hot Topic, and she got me like this shirt for Jughead because I've been super into Riverdale, so I don't know, I'm really happy about it. And then this Slytherin varsity jacket, which I saw at Hot Topic and I was freaking out because I was super into. Yeah. And I was joking with my friends about how the fact that because of this like Slytherin jacket, if you like did the Harry Potter houses with like Riverdale, if there was like a crossover, it would be like the South Side Slytherins, or anyways, it's kind of dumb. I thought it was the best thing ever. So now I'm wearing this like all the time. So that kind of salvaged the day, I guess. And, you know, I thought that would be the end of it, but you know, joke's on me. There is more of that emotional roller coaster coming up. So because we canceled the hotel, we kind of just like went home that night, which was a really good idea because I found out that we had like a little ant infestation. There was like a lot of screaming and like trying to figure out how to deal with that. So I went across to the convenience store, picked up some like ant traps, and my partner sort of like just like cleaned up everything and got rid of the dog food because they were like swarming around his bowl. And I just felt so bad because he was also trying to eat at the same time while we were both screaming. It was a good time. You had to be there, really. See that happening. And then the next morning I just saw all of the people in my social media, because most of my friends are cosplayers, that like went to the convention and had a really good time and like took pictures with each other. And I just felt like so much regret that I didn't get to go and like that I'd missed out. But like at the same time I knew that if I did go, and knowing that like the people I was supposed to hang out with that day ditched me, it wouldn't have made the day good. I would not have had a good time. I'm pretty sure. So it was a good thing that I didn't go, but at the same time I felt really bad because I really wish I did. And then this was like, I guess, the biggest downswing that I had since I started tea, but I think I handled it pretty well considering. I just kind of like vented to a few friends, posted about it. Now I'm over it, but you know, just like seeing all the pictures from everyone having a good time just made me really sad. So updates this past week, I think I can tell a little bit of bottom growth. You know, it's not something that I'm super looking forward towards. I'm kind of like apprehensive about it, but like it's such a small difference that it's not really a big deal. So there was that. Also, that's my canary, and he's trying to compete with me talking. You know, if it's not my dog, it's my bird, it's always something. But, you know, they both take after me. I really like to talk a lot. So I find the general pace for my mood, like ever since I started tea, and like my partner can confirm this, is that even though like I do kind of get annoyed and I get arguments, like the rest of the time my mood's pretty good. Like it was kind of weird because on the other day I noticed myself singing, and like I don't normally do that anymore. Like that was something I used to do, you know, before I kind of like stopped working and have sort of like lost my self-confidence a little bit. It was really nice just to like catch myself just being happy about something, but at the same time I'm really kind of surprised and a little bit frightened by how angry I get when I get mad. I can control it and I can kind of like rein it in, but just like the depth and the intensity of it is just, it's sort of like it's a little bit difficult to deal with. I used to let people get away with things, you know, like canceling on me and stuff, and I don't know. I just sort of like put up with it. Like I think before I would have just gone to the convention and had like a miserable time. Or like before when I would argue with my partner, I would just sort of like stay at home and stew in it. But now I find myself just being like more progressive, and like when someone does something to piss me off, I let them know about it. I just find me standing up for myself a little more, and that's really nice because that was something that I really didn't do before I started testosterone. Then also I found that my weight has fluctuated a bit. So I generally used to be around like 135, 136, but now it's kind of going back and forth, and I think it's definitely got to do with something to do with like my period and like testosterone, and I kind of go between 133 to 138 pounds, like depending. So I don't know how I feel about like randomly losing and gaining 5 pounds here and there. I don't think it's that much of a deal. That's something that's happening lately. Yesterday, my dog ripped the crap out of his toy and kind of like just like left the stuffing all over the floor, and I like filmed a little bit of it and sent it to a few of my friends. And because I haven't been making videos, I watched it back and I was like, wow, my voice got a lot deeper. So that's why I kind of thought it would be good to make like a voice update. I guess that's it. That's all the updates I have. I do want to make another video just like talking about testosterone and like, you know, what it's like and just like sort of how I went about it. So I'm probably going to do that in a future video just because I don't think next week is going to need an update. I'm really excited to see the changes now. So that's good. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to stay on this. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to at least do like the 3 months that I've been prescribed. But, you know, if it ever gets to a point where I'm not really happy with it, I definitely do want to stop. And then also in the next few weeks, because it is December and the holidays, I will be going home. And I'm kind of nervous about that. I didn't tell my parents that I started testosterone. They don't even know that I'm trans. So it's going to be an interesting time trying to like not tell them. And to some extent, I don't really care if they like misgender me because they're my parents. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, if when strangers misgender me, random people that I don't know very well, or like my parents, it doesn't really bother me. But when my friends do it, it kind of does because, you know, I came out to them, I sort of like told them about it. I kind of expect them to like extend that sort of common courtesy. So I guess that's everything that's happened so far. It's just been like a glass case of emotion for like the past month. And I'm really excited to see what happens next. Until the next video, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.